Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Crystal Beasts. Crystal Beasts is another great deck that I've been trying to build from this box. I finally got my first copy of Golden Rule, and this deck is so much fun. I can't wait to share it with you guys. The skill is insane, the end boards you can make are crazy, and you can play basically whatever you want. If you want to play Link Spam, you can do that. If you want to play rank 4s, you can do that. If you want to play rank 3s, you can do that. I have what I believe to be probably one of the better versions of the deck, which was given to me by my friend Chrome, the Crystal Beast Guru on the Guilty Brewers. Shout out to Chrome. And this deck is just super fun to play. So let's take a look at the skill. The skill is called Crystal Radiance. You can only use this skill's second and third effects once per duel. At the beginning of the duel, add 7 different Crystal Beast monsters to your deck. That's Amethyst Cat, Amber Mammoth, Ruby Carbuncle, Emerald Tortoise, Sapphire Pegasus, Topaz Tiger, and Cobalt Eagle. During this duel, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except Crystal Beast monsters and Ultimate Crystal monsters except for special summons from the extra deck. So you can summon literally anything you want from the extra deck, which is awesome. Alright, so once per duel, send 2 Crystal Beast cards from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, and then add 2 Crystal Spell or Trap cards from your deck to your hand, and send 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck to the graveyard. That's hilarious. I don't know what to tell you. That's just really, really funny. So you can pitch a card from your hand and from your field to add 2 Crystal Spells and Traps, which will be your Golden Rule and your Crystal Beacon. And then you just build an insane end board. If only your opponent controls a card, reveal 1 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon in your hand, then set 1 Crystal Spell or Trap from your deck. This card can be activated this turn. This is harder to evaluate. I only have 1 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon in my deck, because I only have 1 so far. It's an ultra rare. Once I get a second one, maybe that second effect will be more useful. I haven't used it a single time yet. Obviously, if you're going second and your opponent has a card, you can reveal Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to set your Crystal Conclave, which gives you some options for dealing with your opponent's board. But if you only have 1 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, it's pretty bad to have it in your opening hand. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how... I mean, I guess it makes it, like, better for you to not brick, maybe, but... You wouldn't search this card with Crystal Bond, even if it gave you a free Crystal Conclave. So let's take a look and see what we can do. For the main deck, we are playing 2 copies of Rainbow Dragon. Rainbow Dragon is a light level 10 4,000 attack monster. Dragon, always treated as an ultimate crystal. It cannot be normal summoned or set, and it must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field and in your graveyard. It is important to note. I don't know why they didn't errata this. It says 7, not 7 or more. There are now 8 Crystal Beast monsters. There's the 7 monsters that you get from having the, the skill, and then you also have Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. If all 8 of them are on your field or in your graveyard, you cannot summon Rainbow Dragon. Now, Rainbow Dragon itself, Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, banishes itself from the spell and trap zone to use its effect. So as long as you can do that, you don't need to worry about this. But if your opponent pops your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, then you're in big trouble. Just so you understand. That's pretty rough. Okay. This turn cannot activate the following effects the turn is special summoned. As a quick effect, you can send all face-up Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard, and this card gains 1,000 attack for each monster sent to the graveyard. Or you can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. The second effect is not a quick effect. Okay, so Rainbow Dragon is interesting now that we have Link monsters. A card's decent-ish, I guess, but being able to use it as Link material makes it a lot more powerful because you can summon it multiple times in a turn. And your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, adds Rainbow Dragon to your hand. So this is like a free card in your hand, which is really good. We're playing 2 because you can't use Rainbow Dragon's effect unless you have a Rainbow Dragon left in your deck to add. So we need to play 2. Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. If this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face-up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell instead of sending it to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That can trigger on both your turn or your opponent's turn, whether you declare an attack or your opponent declares an attack. It's pretty good. You can banish this card, treat it as a continuous spell, special summon one level 4 or lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but negate its effects, and if you do, add one Ultimate Crystal monster from your deck to your hand. So, typically, how you put this card in your spell and trap zone is with Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, which can be triggered infinite number of times per turn, but you can also trigger it off of Crystal Bond, or there are like a few spells, and I guess you could trigger it off of Golden Rule, but you would never do that. So that's odd. Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. Note that we are playing 3 of this. That means that with the skill, you have 4. And you will need 4, because you're going to summon 2 from the deck. And sometimes you will just have 2 in your opening hand. So it's really cool that you have 4. When this card is summoned, you can place one Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell card. That misses timing, and that's really, really annoying. I hate when cards that special summon themselves miss timing. But when you normal summon it, it never misses timing, so that's okay. You can place one Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in your spell or trap zone. If this card is destroyed while it's in a monster zone, you can place it in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell card. Okay, so Sapphire Pegasus is just a good card. You can trigger its effect multiple times. You know, you summon it when you normal summon it. You summon it off of like 2 copies of Golden Rule, and then your Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. You can summon it off of Crystal Beacon. You can summon it off of just normal summoning it. So this is a really good card. It's level 4, which means that you can make a bunch of rank 4s with it. It lets you set your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, which is kind of the core of your whole deck. So yeah, play this card at 3. If you don't have 3, you get 2 of them from leveling Jesse. Then you can spend a UR dream ticket, like a UR regular ticket, on the 3rd one, or you can just beat Jesse in a couple of duels and you'll get the 3rd copy. 1 copy of Effect Veiler, because why not? 2 copies of Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. That means that we are playing 3 with this skill. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast cards as possible from your spell and trap zone. This also misses timing, and that is... Honestly, I'm going to make a bold statement here. The boldest statement I've ever made on this channel. Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle should be mandatory. I mean, this effect should be required. If you summon your Carbuncle, I'm sorry, he's bringing everybody. That way it doesn't miss timing, but you can't do cheeky stuff. If you're playing Carbuncle, your board's flooding the board. That's my opinion. But the fact that it misses timing is really, really annoying, because this is the best card in your deck. You need it to trigger every single time that it's summoned. Okay, so this is not once per turn. You summon everything from your spell and trap zone. Obviously, that's not nearly as good when we only have 2 spell and trap zones, other than like the card that you used to summon Ruby Carbuncle. But if we had 4, it'd be great. Since we don't have 4, you know, still solid. You only have 3 monster zones, so yeah, they had to really go out of their way to try and figure out a way to make Crystal Beasts OP, because like the spell and trap zone limitations and the monster zone limitations have really hurt this deck. Like, it is insane how hard this deck is actually to like get any sort of value. So they had to give you like, what is this, like a +6? You put 2 cards from your hand in the graveyard, which means that you can banish them. Then you draw 2 cards, which will give you... Let me look at this, actually. How many cards does this skill give you? You send 2 cards to the graveyard, which is valuable to you, because you can use cards in the graveyard as material for your Rainbow Dragon and your Ultimate Rainbow Crystal Dragon. Then you draw 2 cards, and those cards are going to be Golden Rule, which is another +3. Well, Golden Rule is a +2, but then you drew Golden Rule as well, so that's a +3. And then, well, no, because Golden Rule is a +3, because it summons a card too. So the fact that it's free, that's a +4. Okay, so 2 cards in your graveyard, you draw +4, or you draw a +3, which is a +4, and then Crystal Beacon, which is one card by itself, and you use it to summon a carbuncle, which will summon a card from your spawn trap zone, so that's another +3. And then you dump 2 cards, which is another +2. So that's +12. To make Crystal Beasts functional, they had to give them a +12. I know that you guys are like in shock. You're saying, Serafi, you're stupid. You're only adding 2 cards to your hand. Wait till you see the replay. It's crazy what this skill does. Okay, Blizzard. Oh, and we're not playing any of the other Crystal Beasts because they're bad. Blizzard. Target 1 face-up spell or trap a spell your opponent controls. This turn it negates activated effects and effects with the same name. If the targeted card will be sent to the opponent's graveyard, it's added to their hand instead. We're playing this at 3. Why are we playing this at 3? Because it stops Book of Eclipse. That's it. Book of Eclipse has taken over this meta. Book of Eclipse is the most annoying card you will ever deal with. The only way to deal with Book of Eclipse is Blizzard. So get 3 copies of Blizzard and play it and everything. Crystal Bond. Add 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand and place 1 Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck face up in your spawn trap zone as a continuous spell. You can only activate 1 Crystal Bond per turn. Technically, you can search this with the skill. Typically speaking, you want to play this before you've activated the skill, because it lets you draw a card and then put a card in your spawn trap zone, and you can then pitch both of those to pay the cost of using the skill. So that's why we're playing 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge. You want Rainbow Bridge in your opening hand so that you can draw Crystal Bond, so you can play Crystal Bond before you use your skill. This is a great card. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. This is a level 45 Jesse card. If you don't have Jesse at level 45, sucks to be you. Golden Rule. This card is always treated as a crystal card. Place 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells, then special summon a Crystal Beast monster from your hand or graveyard with a different name than those cards, and if you do, equip it to that card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Okay, so since the skill will literally take any Crystal Beast from your deck and put it in your graveyard, then add Golden Rule to your hand, you always have Ruby Carbuncle. Always. And the best part is, this card does not target. It's an equip spell that doesn't target. I don't even know how that's possible. What are you smoking, Konami? But it doesn't target. That means that if your opponent tries to respond to you activating Golden Rule by DD Crowing your Ruby Carbuncle, if you have another one in your hand or another one in your graveyard, you still summon it. So just make sure that, I mean, that's why we're playing 3 of them. You have so many Carbuncles. Why can't you hold all these Carbuncles? So your opponent's DD Crow doesn't matter. This is great. It is debatable whether you need this at 2. I have not had any problems playing this at 1, but I can't really think of like why I would need to play this at 2, because I search it. I guess if you play it at 2, you don't necessarily need to open Crystal Bond, because you can search Crystal, but adding Crystal Bond with the skill is bad because you want to play Crystal Bond first. Maybe if you have 2 copies of Golden Rule, you can search Crystal Conclave, but you could just play 2 copies of Crystal Conclave in that case. Yeah, no, there's no way that you would ever play 2 copies of Golden Rule. Okay, great. Rainbow Bridge, this card is old. This card is from the Malefic box. The only reason I have the old Crystal Beast cards is because I went into Malefics 3 times. Why? Because I'm stupid. But I cogged with them. Rainbow Bridge. Add 1 Crystal Beast spell. Add 1 Crystal Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. You search Rainbow. You search Crystal Bond with this. If you have 2 of them, you search Crystal Conclave with the other one. This is not once per turn. Play it at 3. It's amazing. Crystal Beacon. Special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You must have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate this and resolve this effect. So you play Crystal Beacon. You summon your Ruby Carbuncle. Typically speaking, you will only be able to special summon 1 card with Ruby Carbuncle when you activate Crystal Beacon. That's just kind of how the board works out. Still, though, you summon 1 from your spell and trap zone and 1 from the deck, so it's a +2, and that's great. Compulsory Evacuation Device. You can play literally anything here. I think this card's fine. Crystal Conclave. Once per turn, if a face-up Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You can send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard, target a Crystal Beast card you control, and 1 card on the field, and bounce them. You can activate both these effects in the same chain. Okay. So, Crystal Conclave is target a Crystal Beast in your spell and trap zone, bounce it to bounce a card on the field. Solid. Good card. Since we can search it, it's really nice. And since the skill lets you activate it the turn that it is set, if you get it off of the third part of the skill, that can give you some much needed interruption to try and get through your opponent's board while you're building a board. Good card. For the extra deck, we are playing Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. This card is broken. 1 Ultimate Crystal Monster plus 7 Crystal Beast Monsters. Must be special summon from your extra deck during a duel. You special summon an Ultimate Crystal Monster. So you have to play Rainbow Dragon with its own effect. By banishing the above monsters from your field or your graveyard. That's stupid. So even if you special summon Rainbow Dragon, which is very difficult to do, you can just link it off. You can link this card off because you can banish it from your graveyard to summon Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, which is crazy. While 7 or more of your Crystal Beast monsters with different names are banished, this card gains 7,000 attack points. So that's 11,000 attack points if you banished 7 different monsters, because you don't have to technically have 7 different monsters in your graveyard, but as long as you do, it's got 11,000 attack points. If this card is not battled this turn, as a quick effect, you contribute this card, shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck, and if you do, special summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters. That's insane. Number 106, Giant Hand. This is a rank 4 that gives you a negate. Good enough. Lightning Chidori. Lightning Chidori requires 2 level 4 wind monsters. That means you can only summon it with exactly Sapphire Pegasus and either Cobalt Eagle or another Sapphire Pegasus. If this card is Xyz summoned, target a set card your opponent controls and return that target to the bottom of the deck. Once returned, you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and return that card to the top of the deck. Good. Good little mix of interactions, and you can link it off after you're done with it. Firewall Dragon. Link 4 requires 2 or more monsters. Once while this card is face up on the field, you can target monsters on the field and or in the graveyard up to the number of monsters co-linked to this card, return them to the hand. If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Cyberus monster from your hand. You can only use each effect of Firewall Dragon once per turn. Interesting. Decode Talker, 2 or more effect monsters, gains 500 attack for each card this points to. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card you control, you contribute 1 card this card points to, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. Pretty useful. Code Talker. Code Talker is a link 2 that requires 2 effect monsters and gains 500 attack for each monster this card points to. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while this card points to a monster. Okay, so Code Talker is useful because it points down and it is a link 2. And that just works well for the type of board we need to build. Nightmare Cerberus, 2 or more monsters with different names. If this card is link summon, you can discard a card, target a special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone, and destroy it. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect activates, you can draw a card. Cool. You know, this is a good card to make going second. Nightmare Phoenix, 2 or more monsters with different names. If this card is link summon, you can discard a card and target a spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it, and then if this card was co-linked, you draw a card. Again, good card to use going second. Lastly, Ib the World Chalice Priestess. 2 or more monsters with different, 2 monsters with different types and attributes. This link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target this linked card with card effects. If a monster this card points to would be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. Okay, so Ib is very useful for protecting the rest of your board. And you'll see the board that we're going to be building in just a moment. But Ib is crucial to it, and this is one of the few decks that can actually make Ib, because all your monsters are different attributes, and all your monsters are different types. Cool. Let's take a look at the replay. All right, we are going first against Sharks. First things first, we have Cobalt Eagle, Rainbow Bridge, Topaz Tiger, and Ruby Carbuncle in our hand. That's actually really bad for us. You don't want too many level 4s in your opening hand, because you kind of need to play them all. So we're going to start things off by activating Rainbow Bridge, and we'll use it to add Crystal Bond. Activate Crystal Bond. Now, typically speaking, this is what you want to do with Crystal Bond. You want to get your 2 level 3s. Amethyst Cat in your hand and Emerald Tortoise on the field is what I usually like to do, but you can do either one. and then you just pitch them both for the skill, because you don't need your level 3s at all with this deck. Alright, so we pitch them both for the skill, and now here's the problem. I have a Cobalt Eagle and Topaz Tiger already in my hand, so I don't really have any good targets to send from the deck to the graveyard. So I'm going to draw my Crystal Beacon and my Golden Rule. Then I'm going to send the Amber Mammoth, which is the last card that I need, to the graveyard, along with one Ruby Carbuncle. Now I'll activate Golden Rule. I play the 2 Sapphire Pegasus. So Golden Rule plays your 2 Sapphire Pegasus from the deck so that you can trigger Ruby Carbuncle's effect to special summon them. So we play 2 Sapphire Pegasus from the deck, then we special summon the Ruby Carbuncle from the graveyard, Ruby Carbuncle's effect, play the 2 cards that are in your Spawn Trap zone. They both come out, they don't miss timing. So we're going to play the Rainbow Dragon from the deck, and we have to play Topaz Tiger from our hand because we don't have a better option. Now we're going to link 2 monsters off, including the Ruby Carbuncle. You need the space in your Spawn Trap zone. Link it into Code Talker. Now we'll activate Crystal Beacon. You have to activate Crystal Beacon right now because remember, you have to have 2 cards in your Spawn Trap zone to do this. So we activate Crystal Beacon, we special summon another Ruby Carbuncle. And we're going to special summon the card that is not Rainbow Dragon. Link off again. Nightmare Phoenix pointing to the Code Talker. Now we'll activate Rainbow Dragon's effect, and we special summon Sapphire Pegasus from our deck. Draw the Rainbow Dragon. Sapphire Pegasus can't use its effect because Rainbow Dragon negates the effects of the monster it summons. Link 4. Firewall Dragon. Now we're going to normal summon Cobalt Eagle, and since we normal summon Cobalt Eagle, we now have all 7 Rainbow Crystal Beasts. So now we can special summon Rainbow Dragon from our hand, and we'll link Cobalt Eagle and Rainbow Dragon into Ib in the center monster zone. Then we banish all 7 Crystal Beasts along with Rainbow Dragon from our graveyard to special summon Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. Now let's take a look at our board. So we got Code Talker. Code Talker can't be destroyed. We got Firewall Dragon co-linked to 2 monsters. That means that once Firewall Dragon can target up to 2 monsters on the field or in either player's graveyard and bounce them. We got Ib, which points to both Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive and Firewall Dragon. Ib cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Your opponent cannot target Ib with card effects. If a monster that Ib points to would be destroyed by battle or by a card effect, you can send Ib to the graveyard instead. And then Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, 11,000 attack points, and you contribute it to shuffle every card on the field into the deck. So the opponent activates their skill. They're going to pitch the left-hand shark to the graveyard to mill right-hand shark and add Aqua Jet to the hand. Then they activate right-hand shark's effect, which lets them special summon left-hand shark, and now we're going to activate Firewall Dragon's effect. So we bounce both of them, and both of them have an effect where if they special summon themselves with their own effects, and then they leave the field, they get banished. Easy enough. If it activates their skill, they're going to add the Armored Exceeds to the hand, and then play Black Ray Lancer face down. Flip the Black Ray Lancer, discard the Armored Exceeds, rank up into the Full Armored Utopic Ray Lancer. The opponent sets 2 cards face down, and then immediately proceeds into the battle phase. Okay, they're going to activate their effect, which is at the start of the battle phase, you can negate the effects of all attack position monsters your opponent currently controls. That is not that's an activated effect, so I can respond to it. He's in the battle phase, so I'll just activate Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive's effect, shuffle everything back into the deck, play 3 Crystal Beasts. He can't do anything, and then we just kill him. There you go. So that's the board. You can bounce twice, and then if your opponent tries to do anything else, shuffle everything. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.